What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. Today is Monday, which means this is another installment of Mock Draft Monday. The Super Bowl happening last night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeating the Chiefs 31 to 9. It was really, wasn't even close at all. It was completely one sided. It was really interesting, how the game played out. Not many people expected, that outcome the way it happened. I might be having a Super Bowl recap episode maybe tonight, tomorrow. Not for sure yet. But since today is Monday, since the NFL season is officially over, I'm finally doing my mock draft Monday of the full first round mock drafts. I don't really like doing full first round mock drafts until the season's over because I don't like it because you don't know the official order, but now since we know the official order, I will be doing my mock draft. So we will go ahead and get started here. Trevor Lawrence, number one. This is pretty much the only pick of my mock drafts that will not change. It's really too obvious. But he's going to do really good in Jacksonville. Jacksonville has lots of draft capital for the next couple of seasons. They have 2 first-round picks this year, and I believe they also have 2 second-round picks this year as well. But, this was kind of obvious from last year even. You didn't know who was going to have the number 1 pick, but whoever had the number 1 pick, they were going to get Lawrence. Number 2, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is by far my favorite quarterback prospect in the draft. I like him. He's more fun to watch than Trevor Lawrence, but I'm not going to say he's better than Trevor Lawrence. But I've said this a couple of times. I really think the gap between Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson is a whole lot closer than the gap between Zach Wilson and Justin Fields for the second spot in the quarterback rankings. You can make a case Zach Wilson's quarterback number 1. I've actually thought about putting him as my quarterback number 1. He is so freaking amazing and fun to watch. He reminds me exactly a combination of Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. His deep ball, the way he throws his deep ball, it's the best in the country. It's better than Lawrence. It's better than Justin Fields. Anybody coming out of the draft, it's just sensational. His mobility, he reminds me a lot of Mahomes. I know it's really, kind of stupid to compare people to Mahomes because, he's once in a generation talent at the quarterback position. But just the way he plays, the off-script plays, something goes wrong, he'll be able to scramble and, make a great pass receiver, make something out of nothing. I really, really, really like Zach Wilson, number 2 here to the Jets. It makes so much more sense to me than Justin Fields. Even though, the Jets drafted Mekhi Becton last season, their offensive line still wasn't really good, and that's part of the reason why Sam Darnold was not really good this past season. But I think Wilson will be better off because he's more mobile than Justin Fields, and he's overall better. Justin Fields, at times, he holds the ball too long, and that's why he gets sacked. I think Justin Fields would be better off with the team. Fields waits a little bit. Maybe doesn't play right away, but maybe similar to like Lamar Jackson or Drew Lock, Patrick Mahomes, players we've seen, drafted in the first round, but kind of wait half a year or so until their first official start. But I really like that pick here, Wilson to the Jets. I think it should happen. Realistically, I'm not so sure it will, but Zach Wilson there to the Jets at number 2. Number 3, the Miami Dolphins take Devontae Smith. If Devontae Smith does not get drafted by the Dolphins, that's where it gets really, really interesting. Because I think Devontae Smith, the Dolphins, it makes too much sense for it not to happen, pretty much. His last game was played in Miami at the Dolphins Stadium. He was coached by the Miami Dolphins coaching staff at the Senior Bowl. He played with Tua in college and had the game-winning touchdown pass from Tua in the national championship game a couple years ago. And, they could maybe also get, Najee Harris and either running back as well. Why not, get the other Crimson Tide player, have a Crimson Tide trio. But Devontae Smith, I think, makes a lot of sense here. If he does not get drafted by the Dolphins, I think he could maybe – he'll drop to the top 5, I would say that. because I really don't expect Atlanta to take, Devontae Smith. I don't think Cincinnati will, because if Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell's available, I figured to take one of those two. But Smith, if he doesn't go 3, that's where it gets really interesting. I wouldn't even rule out the question if he goes out of the top 10. Like that's a big what if scenario. But Smith there to Miami at number 3. Justin Fields to the Falcons. I love this too. Honestly, I think Zach Wilson to the Jets and Justin Fields to the Falcons would be great by both teams, and it would be a perfect scenario for both teams. Like I said, I think Justin Fields should not start right away. Kind of like how Tua did this past season with Miami. I don't think he's nearly as pro ready as Zach Wilson. Matt Ryan, he's kind of closing in towards the end of his career. If you start Ryan half the season, you're probably not going to be in playoff contention this upcoming year. Let's say you're 2-6 or something like that. That's when you give the ball to Fields, and that's kind of where he takes over, the starting role for the Atlanta Falcons. And they have a better offensive line than, the Jets. So I think it makes more sense there. I think Fields needs a better offensive line than Zach Wilson needs an offensive line. I really, really like that pick. I think it'll work out for both teams there. So as we go to number 5, Penei Sewell, I really, really, really think he's going to be there at number 5. I would be shocked if he's not. And I've seen some people comment now, you're just saying this because you want the Bengals to get Penei Sewell. That is absolutely not the case at all. Honestly, I would rather trade back and get like a first or second round pick and get Kyle Pitts and, sign Joe Thuney. I like Sewell. I have no issues if we take him. But I feel like, Bengals fans are so focused on Sewell because he's a, position we need. If we could trade back to, let's say, I don't know, 9, 8, 9, 10, something like that. And if somebody were to offer us like a first round pick next year or something the lines like that, and we get Kyle Pitts, I'm taking that 100% of the time over Penei Sewell. I like Sewell. I have no issues if we take him. But we, as Bengal fans, in my opinion, we need to stop just focusing on Sewell. Chase is another option. If Sewell and Chase are both available, that's where it gets really interesting because, the Joe Thuney rumors, the Bengals are really starting to heat up. And, what if we sign Thuney and they're content with their offensive line? Burrow is going to have a say in the 5th pick, especially if Jamar Chase is there. If we sign Thuney, I wouldn't be surprised if we took Chase. And speaking of Chase, that's kind of where we go to the next pick here. The Philadelphia Eagles take Jamar Chase. This is an A-plus pick. They should have took Justin Jefferson last year. They missed out on that LSU receiver. They learned their lesson, and they take arguably the better LSU receiver. And I just really love this pick. Zach Ertz, there's been rumors that he may get cut. And, if he gets cut, you really have no weapons for Jalen Hurts. Jamar Chase is sensational. I mean, he's absolutely phenomenal. But I think this would be a really good pick here for the Eagles. It would help Jalen Hurts a lot. It would finally give them a weapon. It would have a nice trio with, Hurts, Miles Sanders, and Jamar Chase. 7, Jalen Waddle. I really like this pick as well because, I've seen some people say, Detroit still might take a quarterback. It's a possibility. If Justin Fields drops or Zach Wilson drops, I think they should go ahead and should take a quarterback, but that's only that scenario. But Jalen Waddle, Marvin Jones, and Kenny Galladay are both free agents for Detroit. Whether you have Jared Goff starting for 1, 2, 3 years, whatever it is, maybe he don't even play a snap for Detroit. I mean, you really don't know. Whoever your quarterback is, I know one thing, you're going to need some weapons for your quarterback, and that's the exact opposite what the Detroit Lions have right now. I think Jalen Waddle will be a great pick here for Detroit. He can be their Megatron-type receiver, be there for like a decade or so and be their star player. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be as productive as Megatron, but Waddle, I mean, before he got injured, if he never got injured, he could be the top wide receiver taken in the draft. I mean, he got injured. Devontae Smith won the Heisman, and I've seen still seen mock drafts of having Waddle, being picked before Devontae Smith, and I've seen a few even for Jamar Chase. 8, Trey Lance to the Carolina Panthers. I like this one as well. Bridgewater, I believe, has 1 year on his contract left. Have him write out his contract, and then a year from now, Trey Lance will be starting for the Carolina Panthers. Lance is a big project, in my opinion. He's a big question mark. It's all about potential. He reminds me a little bit, not just saying this because he played at North Dakota State, but he reminds me a little bit of Carson Wentz. He's not quite as big as Wentz. He's a little bit better runner, not as quite the better passer, but just their style of play. I think Lance would be a good spot here, but I also think the same thing I said with Justin Fields. Trey Lance has to set. He cannot play right away. I think that would not be good for his career and not good for him to start off. So we go to number 9. The corners, 9 and 10 have it like it has been for quite some time now. Patrick Surtain goes to the Broncos. I've kind of explained, pretty much every mock why, Denver needs to get Patrick Surtain. Number 10, it's the same thing. Caleb Farley, corner, goes to the Cowboys at number 10. Lost Byron Jones. They don't have a good secondary. Kind of the same thing. 9 and 10 since these mock drafts have came out have been, just been switching those two because I really think those two teams need to take a quarterback. But as we go to number 11 here, this is kind of a questionable pick, but I like it. Kyle Pitts to the Giants. They don't have that star guy. And I know, you have Evan Ingram, but he drops, it seems like, tons of passes, and he's a free agent coming up soon. And Kyle Pitts is better than Evan Ingram. Kyle Pitts is, he's the next Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle. He's a generational tight end. And I know he may not be a team need right now because Evan Ingram is still currently on the Giants roster. But to me, Kyle Pitts, you can line him up at wide receiver at times. You can line him up at tight end. I think, I know I said earlier, I like Kyle Pitts for the Bengals more than I do Penei Sewell. That's if we got a extra pick with Pitts. That shows you how much I'm a fan of Pitts. I think he's one of the best players in general, in the draft, not just, offensive weapons. I think he's a top 10 player in the draft. But Pitts there to the Giants, gives Daniel Jones a nice weapon. So number 12, 49ers take J.C. Horn, the cornerback. Richard Sherman's getting up there in age. I believe he may be a free agent this offseason. But, they had a good good season this year despite their injuries. But they need another corner to go back there in the secondary. I think J.C. Horn would be a good spot. Rashawn Slater goes there, number 13 to the Chargers. Despite Justin Herbert playing great this past season, their offensive line still wasn't good. So I think, Slater would be a really nice pick there. He's probably the best, offensive lineman available at that point. 14, this is kind of maybe a questionable pick as well. The Minnesota Vikings take Elijah Vera Tucker from USC. He's a tackle, but he can also, seen some reports, he may switch to guard. The Minnesota Vikings need both of those positions. So they can maybe, play, Vera Tucker at either one of those positions or go back and forth. If there's an injury, versatility, that's a big thing for an offensive lineman. But I like that pick there at 14. This may be a bit of a reach right now, but by the time it's to the draft, I think this will be an outstanding pick, and I think you're going to see lots of mock drafts have New England take Kadarius Toney 15. He's going to rise up draft boards. Once the combine and everything, after his 40-yard dash comes out, I think he's going to end up being a top 20 pick for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 15. And, really, I wouldn't be totally surprised if the Giants, depending how good his 40-yard dash is, I would not be totally shocked if the Giants maybe take even Kadarius Toney at 11. I really think Kadarius Toney is going to, jump up a ton. I know we've seen some mock drafts towards the end of the third, so maybe early second. He's going to go up there, and I would love to see, Kadarius Toney with the Patriots offense and Bill Belichick. He would have tons of plans and plays for Kadarius Toney. So if we go to 16, the Arizona Cardinals take Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech. Kyler Murray is very, very mobile and he's really great and everything, but you still need an offensive lineman. Their offensive line isn't really good. I think Christian Darrisaw will be a really nice pick there at 16 to give more depth to the offensive line and make better, more protection for Kyler Murray. 17, the Raiders take Kwity Paye, edge rusher from Michigan. Farrell from Clemson, they drafted him not too long ago. He hasn't really been great. And, edge rusher is a need for the Raiders. So I think Kwity Paye there will be a nice pickup at 17. 18, Najee Harris. I think this makes a lot of sense if he's available. I know they may, go back and forth between ETN and Najee Harris, but kind of like I said earlier, I think Tua may have a say. Devontae Smith will have a say, if it's Najee Harris or Travis Etienne. Obviously Miami needs a running back. So you would have Tua, Najee Harris, and Devontae Smith all back on the same team. So go to 19. Washington takes linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koroma. I think I pronounced that correctly. If I did, I'm sorry. Linebacker from Notre Dame. That just kind of gives Washington another outstanding defensive player on a rookie contract, and that would be really, really nice. We're 19 picks in, and there is still no Micah Parsons. There's kind of reason to that. So it's going to number 20. Still no Micah Parsons. Gregory Rousseau from Miami, Florida. He's dropping a lot in mock drafts. I like him, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped later. The Bears need edge rusher. They also need wide receiver. If Kadarius Toney is available at 20, I fully expect the Bears to take him. But since Toney isn't available, I have them taking Gregory Rousseau. Wide receiver or edge to me with the Bears is more likely to happen. As we go to 21, I have the Colts taking Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. I like Ojulari a lot. He had a really, really nice game against Cincinnati. He's one of my favorite edge rushers. I know the Colts need an edge rusher. I think that would be a good pick there. 22, finally Micah Parsons to the Titans. Micah Parsons should drop, but he won't. Just look up the stuff. He's done. He's been like sexual assault allegations and stuff like that. And it doesn't really make sense to me because last season, Willie Gay Jr., the linebacker from Mississippi State, dropped to one of the last picks of the second round. And he was in trouble because he cheated on a test and he punched a teammate. Look at the stuff. Go look up what Micah Parsons has done. And by that standard, he should not even be drafted. I don't understand why people. I have him here because he's a really good player and the Titans would love to pick him up, but I don't understand why people aren't talking about what he's done. But 23 here to the Jets. Travis Etienne, A+ pick. Team need, best running back on the draft in my opinion. Him and Zach Wilson. That's freaking awesome. I know this is only the first round, but that's the best. That's easily, in my opinion, the best draft of any team in this first round. I know it's only one round, but that's a great job of the Jets. Last mock draft Monday, I did the picks of the top 25, and I had the Steelers picking center Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. I have them keeping Humphrey with 24. There's reports that, Pouncey may retire. They're going to need a guy to replace him. I think Creed Humphrey would be a nice fit. Also, I know they signed Dwayne Haskins, but I don't think Dwayne Haskins is good at all. Don't be totally shocked if they take Kyle Trask or Matt Jones. Trask reminds me a little bit of Roethlisberger. I think Trask, I'm not really sure. Matt Jones to me, he's good. He's average. He does everything good, makes smart decisions, but he does nothing great. Kyle Trask to me is kind of like a combination of Derek Carr and, Ben Roethlisberger. But I have Creed Humphrey there going 24, but would not be totally shocked if the Steelers would go quarterback there as well. Number 25. This is a really nice pick here by the Jacksonville Jaguars. You lost Ndakwe recently in a trade. You get Christian Barmore, and that's arguably the best defensive tackle in this draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars recently, the guy, I can't remember his name, the guy that hired as their defensive line coach, I believe he coached Christian Barmore at Alabama. So to me, that's a really, really good pick there, and has to feel familiarity with the guy he will be coaching. So we once again, we are live on YouTube right now. We're going through the Mock Draft Monday. We are on pick number 26, while the Cleveland Browns select corner Tyson Campbell from Georgia. I know they drafted Greedy Williams recently, but he left early in the season due to a season-ending injury. Denzel Ward is coming up on an expired contract coming up soon. They really don't have anybody besides those two guys. I think those are two really nice corners, but you still need somebody else. And with Greedy Williams coming off a season-ending injury, I think you got to kind of take corner maybe in the first or second after Cleveland, because you're not for sure if he's going to be the same after that injury. And also, if Denzel Ward wants a stupid, ridiculous contract, it's not a guarantee you're going to re-sign him. So, you kind of need a corner. 27, Rashad Bateman to the Ravens. I've seen people say, get a wide receiver from Lamar Jackson. He'll be a lot different. No, he won't. He's a run-first quarterback. And Rashad Bateman, to me, I think he may do okay with the Ravens. But if the Ravens decide to take a quarterback at number 27, whoever gets drafted there, more than likely is not going to have a good career with the Baltimore Ravens, because you really look at it, you cannot name a good receiver who was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens the past 8 or 10 years. It seems like that's pretty much where wide receivers' careers go to die for the most part. But Rashad Bateman, he's a really good receiver. I'll be interested to see, if they get Bateman, how much they pass more. But Bateman 27 there to Baltimore. This may be, I don't know, a little shocking pick. 28, the Saints select Terrence Marshall. I know they have Michael Thomas, but who else do they have besides that? Absolutely nobody. And, I don't want to see a mock draft have them take a quarterback, because Jameis Winston is better than Matt Jones. Jameis Winston is better than Kyle Trask. I think Winston should be the starting quarterback of the Saints. They don't really have that many weapons. They do have Kamara and Thomas. Those are two of the top players some of the top players at their positions. But you need another guy. Terrence Marshall, he was really, really good, with Joe Burrow and everything. Staying in state, I think the Saints may take him there at 28. 29, we have 3 straight picks here, but we go wide receiver. The Packers need wide receivers. Devontae Adams had an insane season, being absolutely fantastic this year. And Aaron Rodgers won the MVP with just Devontae Adams basically throwing to him and Robert Tonyan. Aaron Rodgers made Robert Tonyan look like freaking Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. But, Rondale Moore be a really nice pick here for Green Bay. Who knows? If they would have took T. Higgins last year in the first round instead of trading up for Jordan Love, they may have been playing in the Super Bowl this past season. 30, Samuel Cosmi, a tackle from Texas. The Bills, one of their top tackles, their starting tackle is a free agent. I can't remember his name. I completely forgot it. But, he's a free agent. It's not a guarantee the Bills will re-sign him, so I'd like this pick here. It's a team need. It's one of the better players available for Buffalo at number 30. The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously in the Super Bowl yesterday, their offensive line was horrendous. It looked like you were watching a bingo game or something. But, I'm not just saying this because their offensive line was horrible. You look at the team needs, and everything, the whole season. Their team need was a guard. And, I really like the guard here, Wyatt Davis from Ohio State. I think it's a team need. He's probably the best offensive lineman available right now towards the end of the first round. But I have Wyatt Davis going there, 31 to Kansas City. This last pick here, this is a complete toss-up. I have no idea what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need. If you're not going to draft a quarterback, because, Tom Brady may be 43, but he's still winning Super Bowl MVPs. mean, Rob Gronkowski, he is a free agent, but they'll probably get a new contract done. There was a report earlier today. Mike Evans is willing to redo his contract and take less money, so some of the players can stay on the team. They have a nice defensive line. They have Leonard Fournette. They have a good young secondary, with Jamal Dean and other, good corners as well. I went Jalen Phillips here. They do need, I guess, an edge rusher. This is really a toss. This is a toss up on position. This is a toss up on what do they need. I mean, and when I go to position, I went with edge rusher, obviously. Then it was like, who do I take? It was Jalen Phillips. It was kind of down to Jalen Phillips and Patrick Jones. And I know some people say, that's kind of early for Patrick Jones. I know I really, really like Patrick Jones, though. He's one of my favorite edge rushers in the draft. You watch his games. I mean, on a bad game, he'll get you like a sack and like 2 or 3 tackles for loss. Like, he's just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Patrick Jones is really good, but I do also like Jalen Phillips here from Miami. He had over 10 tackles for loss this past season. Either one of those players are good at 32, but that's just to me. I think Phillips may be the pick here at 32, and they're kind of about the same players, on my rankings. But I went with Jalen Phillips, but Patrick Jones would be also a really, really nice pick here at 32 by the Super Bowl champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So mock draft Monday, obviously, we are live on YouTube, like I said. This is my first, mock draft Monday where I do a full first round mock draft. Next mock draft Monday, I'll be doing a full first round mock draft, including trades. So make sure to check that out, and we'll go ahead and show these picks here one more time. Let's see here. Lawrence, Wilson, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase. Jalen Waddle goes to the Lions. Trey Lance, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, Kyle Pitts, J.C. Horn, Rashawn Slater, Elijah Vera Tucker, Kadarius Toney, Christian Darrisaw, Kwity Paye, Najee Harris, Jeremiah Wasu-Komora, Gregory Rousseau, Azeez Ojulari, Micah Parsons, Travis Etienne, Creed Humphrey, Christian Barmore, Tyson Campbell, Rashawn Bateman at 27. And some of the final picks are Terrence Marshall Jr., Rondell Moore, Samuel Cosmi, Wyatt Davis, and Jalen Phillips. So that's the Mock Draft Monday full first round mock draft. Make sure to tune in the next week's Mock Draft Monday, where I will be doing first round mock draft with trades as well. Maybe doing a Super Bowl recap, video. Not too sure yet. Maybe tonight or tomorrow. Not certain on that. But also, I'm doing a mock draft of every single NFL team before compensatory picks come out. I just recently did one with the Houston Texans. I'm going to be doing one with the Atlanta Falcons here soon. After that will be the Bengals, then followed by the Eagles. I'm going to be trying and getting lots of those done kind of soon. The off season coming up, there's a lot to talk about. Draft talk, free agency, where some of these players may go. So it'll be really interesting to see how the off season plays out, because I think this one is going to be one for the ages and everything. Lots of different quarterbacks moving. It's going to be a really interesting draft. So lots of mock drafts of different teams, every single team coming up soon. The Falcons one should be out maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. Not too sure yet. But thank you all so much for listening. If you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But most importantly, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Sports 200 Show.